The Rebbe called in Rabbi Mentlik after davening. He was Rosh Yeshiva in 770, and he came out and he said the Rebbe has a request to make of all the Bochrim and all the Kailim alike. As a Bocher, I went to Morristown, I learned the Morristown, then I came to 770, that's when I got involved first in Sefer Likutim, the big project the Rebbe initiated on Nittel night in Tovshin Lamed Zayin, Friday night, so Nittel you don't learn, so it was like the only official time Bochum don't learn Friday night, and those Friday nights are very short, so there's a lot of hours before you can daven and so on. The whole Shabbos starts 4:30, whatever. So the Rebbe called in Rabbi Mentlik after davening. And I remember we were sitting in the Zal there just having a bull session.
Rabbi Mentlik was the Rosh Yeshiva?
He was the Rosh Yeshiva, right, in 770. The Rebbe called him in, and he came out and he said the Rebbe has a request to make of all the Bochrim and all the Kailim alike. And he called them all into the Zal upstairs in 770, after Ma'ariv or something. No, maybe 6 o'clock, something like that. And he said the Rebbe wants 2 projects to be done. One is a Sefer Likutim, Dach Tzemach Tzedek, which would mean to go through all the Tzemach Tzedek Svarim and gather it and organize it in like an encyclopedic fashion from Aleph to Tov. And the second project was a Mafteich Inyanim on Ayin Beis. The Hemshech Ayin Beis came out right earlier than the year before, so the Rebbe, that was for the Kailim delight. So the encyclopedia was a project for Bochrim, the index on Ayin Beis was for Kail, and anyone who volunteers, a Bocher, this will be considered as if you're coming to say the yeshiva. It was the only time the Rebbe ever did anything like that. It was for me. It was heaven sent because I was learning, but it was involving a project. It was like a research project.
Right. You were then in 770.
I had just come that year to 770. Okay. It was like, and I was looking for something that I can get involved in because there's some people who can sit on the bench all the time. I needed something to work with, so I volunteered. Everyone volunteered, to be honest, over that Shabbos. Motzei Shabbos came. All the Bochum, the whole dorms here in 749, and where the museum is now. There was also a dorm, and then everybody was knocking, and nobody knew what they were doing. By the time Sunday morning came, and the enthusiasm waned, they were down to 5, 6 guys that became the staff, myself and a few other Bochum. So I was involved in this project, researching, but I was very intrigued by the whole Chazara, which in simple English means the reviewing of the Rebbe's Farbrengens, memorizing these hours and hours of the Rebbe speaking. So there was a small group of Chayzrim that would always gather together with Rabbi Yael Khan at the head in 770, Motzei Shabbos, after Shabbos. And I was very intrigued, so I became involved in the sense I just started hanging around and helping out. And as I did more of that, I became better at it, and I became like an inner circle. I used to look over the Sichas, and as time passed, I moved.
Was that a team effort? How did it work? I remember as a Bacher a little bit.
It was like this. It was actually, yes, it was a team effort because it required really two components. The Farbrengens that were not taped required, number one, Chazara, Chayzer. So we have 2 terms. We'll introduce 2 terms here, Chayzer and Maniach. Okay, this goes back all the way from the times of the Baal Shem Tov, actually, because the Baal Shem Tov, as probably you know, didn't write. He spoke everything. So everything was Baal Peh. So there were Chayzrim then too. His Talmidim were Chayzrim, basically. They wrote down what he said. So the first step was remembering and absorbing and retaining, and then the Rebbe's words, then repeating it. The second step was a maniach, was a person, maniach literally means someone who commits it to paper, places it on paper. Maniach was someone who wrote it down, which was another set of talents. Not everybody that could memorize and repeat it was a good writer. Not everybody that wrote remembered well. So it was like 2 stages.
Times? Was the maniach writing what they were saying, or there was
so it depends in the different years. I got involved in Lamed Zayin, Lamed Ches, 77, 78, and I started helping out. The writer then was the main writer was David Feldman, the head of Lahak today. Of Sichas, my moram was a guy Tzvi Greenblatt, Shalom Charatonov, David Olodar. These were these guys, and I used to help out, just reviewing things and Chazara. But then when David Feldman went to Israel, Shlichus, I became the main writer. So I happened to be a person who was a chayzer and a maniach. That was rare. I'll try to explain it like this.